welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a reverse harem recommendation video. I feel like these videos in the past, whenever I posted them like 2-3 years ago, people really enjoyed them. We're back to them because I read this genre a ton. It's probably one of my favorite tropes to read, so let's do it. So I don't know if I mentioned this one before, but we're going to mention it again if I did. This whole series, the Dark Phase series by Caroline Peckham and Susanna Valenti. Just look how beautiful they are. This is following Elise and I want to say maybe 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, 5 guys. You're supposed to read this before Zodiac Academy. It's years before Zodiac Academy, if that makes sense, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's correct. And this is following Elise and her 5 men. She ends up going to a royal academy because her brother ends up dying and she wants to find out who his murderer was, why he was murdered, and things like that. So you go on that journey through this fae world that is amazing because you get fae, you get dragons, you get harpy, wolves, it all in this book. You go follow that journey. It's kind of like that murder mystery vibe going on because we're trying to figure out who killed her brother, and you kind of get a glimpse of the past, what her brother, different experience her brother has been through, and just trying to figure out everything that came about and what happened to him. And this story wraps up beautifully. The series we're going to be talking about are Broken Bonds by J. Bree. Absolutely love this series. It's literally, covers are beautiful. I need to get the rest of the books in the series, but I do have the first 3 books in it. I'm trying, the ring light's making it all weird, but just look how beautiful. So I'm just gonna read the back because I don't want to really give anything away, but this has like that fantasy element to it. There's things called bonds that kind of give you then mates, I guess you could say. I don't know, let me just read the back instead of giving anything away for this. But it says, after the death of my mother and her bonded, I was relieved to find my own bonds. I was sure everything would be okay if I had them. It wasn't. The fate of our people is in my hands, and I know we're better off if I'm alone. After 5 years on the run, I'm caught and dragged back to face the men I ran away from. I thought I was doing the right thing. Now I'm not so sure. North, Knox, Griffin, Atlas, and Gabe may never forgive me, but one thing is for sure, I won't ever forgive myself. So as you're reading it, you see that she doesn't let her bond, is that what you call them? I believe so. Her bond kind of like ever take over or get involved with it in anything because it's just super lethal and strong, and no one has ever seen a bond like hers before. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's all I have to say. This has like the more like of an enemies to lovers thing going on with it as well. I really enjoyed it. I gave 5-star series for me. I gave literally almost all the books in here 5 stars because it was just that good. And another book by J. Bree, because I absolutely love her reverse harems, is Hanford Prep. This is just the complete series in one huge book, which I love. The only thing I don't love is that, like, look how small the words are in this. Super small. But I love this series, and it was just so good, and I loved annotating it when I reread it. Following just 3 boys, and anyways, they call her Lips more. This is like a little bit more on the darker side. She ends up getting a scholarship to go to Hanford Prep, and there she ends up basically getting on the wrong side of the guys, and they kind of just bully her at the beginning, but they don't realize who she truly is. So what they do to her is nothing compared to what she has already experienced in life. But let's read the back for you guys. After surviving foster care in a high school that breeds gang members and drug dealers, I finally found my path to freedom, emancipation, and a full ride scholarship at the ultra-exclusive Hanford Prep. All I have to do is survive. After attracting the wrong sort of attention from the richest boy in the country, pissing off the hottest guy in school, and being humiliated in front of my favorite rock idol, I am now the target of the most popular and coolest group in the freshman class. They want my blood. They can have it. I'm stronger than any spoiled rich kid. But can I survive the game the juniors have started with me as the goal? Now every boy at Hanford Prep wants to have me, all except the 3 I want. Ash, Harley, and Blaze don't care about the game. All they care about is destroying me. And each book is another year in high school. I will say the only thing that threw me off about this book is that, I mean, I gave it 5 stars, but is that these characters are so mature for being high school kids. And so much happens that you're just like, I would have believed it more if they were like in college. But other than that, really, really good. Loved it, ate it up. Next we have Boneyard Tides by Anna Jones. She just came out with this book last year. This is a reverse harem. I did read it, did enjoy it. I believe I gave it 4 stars. But I'm going to read the back because we all know Ammo. Her books are very twisted and just mess with your mind. So this is, I can't even find words. I will say the scenes in here are very, very hot. Picture this, you're sitting by the ocean, sipping your favorite cocktail, the sun is setting over your skin, the sound of waves crashing against the sand offers the perfect background music for the mellow reggae tunes that play through the salty air. Life is good. You have a best friend who seems to be a better friend to you than he is a boyfriend to his girl. Your mom is calling your phone to ask what time you'll be home for dinner, and your current plaything is too busy flirting with another girl. Desperate attempt to see if you care. Pathetic. But you don't care because the sand is between your toes, your surfboard is freshly waxed, and you are 100% sure that your life is perfect. It was all perfect, right? Except Hades Hollow would never be perfection. This was a town built on old stories that were planted, grew, and eventually rotted here. It was a vicious cycle of rebirth. The stories would never die. Not at least until the real one has been told. It all started with a game. The kind of trickery that poisons your heart because it knows the mind is weak. One was my nemesis, a general meddling musician, the foe. One was as scary as he was charming, the weapon. And one was a billionaire, the ruse. I mean, I know that, right? I know who they were. I knew that, right? I knew who they were. I was about to find out the hard way that I didn't know anything at all. I'm Silo St. Clair. A daughter, a friend, and a liar. Super good, super mind. When the second book to this comes out, I'm definitely going to have to reread this one. And this is honestly such a short book. It's only 274 pages. I would not start out, if you're just getting into reverse harem, with this series. Just check this off your list until you're way deep into it and you know that you can handle something like this. So we're talking about the Loser series by Harley Lorax. So I read The Deal a couple years ago. And this little novella did things, made everything tingle. It did things. It was such a good novella. And over the years, I kept thinking about these characters. And recently, maybe like a couple months ago, I just got the first 2 books that involve the characters that were in that novella, which is Losers Part 1 and Losers Part 2. I will say, this is just a very unique reverse harem. There's not really a plot to it. This is very character driven, and these characters are dark and twisted, and you really go into their sexuality. And I always say this one is such a unique reverse harem because usually in reverse harems, if you guys did not know, which I probably should explain this at the beginning, is that there's one female character and all the men around her are only all involved with her. Sometimes you'll occasionally get like a male in there that are involved with one another, but usually they're all involved with her. And if there is another relationship in between the guys, the main female character is always kind of like okay with it. And with that, it's 3 or more guys that are in this relationship with her. So in this one, it's unique because obviously there's her, but then there's 4 other guys, but everyone is like involved with each other. They all are very sexual with one another. And that's what makes this very unique. You get past and presents about different things that has happened while they were in high school, and then the present on where they're at now in life. You see Jess grow a lot throughout the series, which I really liked. Honestly, all of them. Here, I'll read the back of the first one so you guys kind of just know. I was supposed to have it all. I'd been prom queen, cheer captain, high school most savage, queen bee. I could have everything I wanted except them. The freaks, the weirdos, the school's ultimate losers, Manson, Jason, Lucas, and Vincent. Our hatred for each other couldn't keep us apart. Not even when my own mistake got Manson expelled and made me the ultimate villain to the rest of them. One night was supposed to be enough. There, I couldn't resist forever. For one night, I gave myself over to the men I wasn't supposed to want and satisfy the darkest parts of my soul. But some things are meant to stay in the dark. One night and it was over. It was nothing more than a game. Now with college behind me, our worlds collide yet again. Four men all willing to share me as their plaything until my debt to them is paid. Another game to satiate my dark cravings, the twisted rules of which bring us all even closer than before. But games aren't meant to last. When the debt is paid and the game is done, what if I don't want to walk away? I'm going to mention one more. The Wixsex series by Ashley N. Rostick. Don't have this series of physical copies. I need to get it. But this series, it just drew me in. I absolutely loved every second of reading it. You're following the main female character who's in the witness protection program because of something tragic that happened to her family and her twin sister. She now recently moved to this new town, started a new high school, gets involved with some guys, and basically her neighbors become her harems. So it's two older brothers and then two twins that are in high school with her. Currently doing her senior year over again because of everything that happened. She took a year off to kind of just get herself together. She's in this new town, doesn't know anyone, is trying to keep her secret to herself, obviously, because she can't let anyone know. But these men are very, very smart, and they just notice things that just don't add up and that are just totally weird. Have those mean girls in it kind of try to mess with her because she's with the guys. It's just, you know, it was just really good. It just gave me everything that I needed in that moment, and I think that's why I loved it so much. But I just recently read the last book that came out a couple months ago. But let's read the first book so that you guys get a little overview instead of how I'm explaining it, because I feel like I can sometimes be bad at explaining things. So 1 year ago, my family is gone. My parents, my twin sister, all of them murdered by the man who had stalked me for years. He nearly killed me too. But I got away and he's still out there searching for me. He won't find me. At least I hope not. Thanks to Sec. I've been given a new life with a new identity. At present, my uncle, my only living relative, has helped me glue myself back together and given me the tools I'll need to survive. I'm not fixed and my grief is heavy, but I'm at a point where I can put one foot in front of the other to try to move on. I know my future will be hard and lonely. I must stay strong and focus on the good. I'm getting a second chance at life. I am safe. My new home is beautiful. The four brothers who live next door are even more so. Little do I know that Colt, Creed, Keelan, and Knox will soon become my everything. It's as if my lonely heart screamed out for someone good to find me. Four answered back. And obviously for all these books, I would just look up trigger warnings just in case. But to this book, to this series, it was just perfect. It wrapped up beautifully. We get everything we want in it. These are all the books I'm going to be recommending in this video today. We're in a different position, but my camera died. I do have more books that I want to recommend, but we're going to save that for another video, so this one isn't too long. Reverse harem is probably one of my favorite tropes to read. I'm constantly reading them. 10 more, so there will be other reverse harem recommendation videos coming out soon. But I'll talk to you guys in the next video.